for some people, conspiracy theories become very attractive because they're offering psychological comfort.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the most famous historical events that created the wackiest and most outlandish conspiracy theories.
Those of us who'd been in secret ops since the beginning knew the Warren Commission was fiction.
Number 10. COVID-19.
Why have we seen this uprising, do you think? People who may never have decided to go public with their views are doing that. Why is that?
Because some things just don't make sense with this.
The start of 2020 was a very scary time, with COVID-19 sending the world into panic and confusion. Unfortunately, we didn't know much about the virus or how it operated, resulting in a slew of ridiculous conspiracy theories. Bill Gates was accused of using the pandemic as a pretext to implant tracking microchips in people through vaccines, fueling anti-vaccine sentiment.
If there was a vaccine...
Correct.
Would you take it?
That's a very interesting question. No.
Even more believed that 5G cellular networks were either spreading the virus or weakening people's immune systems, resulting in the vandalism and burning of 5G towers. And some didn't even believe in the virus itself, arguing that the pandemic was a complete fabrication designed to control populations and introduce martial law. We don't know how they explained all of the sick and dying people.
Well, yes, if you believe an increasing number of increasingly angry people who are convinced coronavirus is nothing more than a sinister plot to control their lives.
Number 9. The death of Nero.
There are bigger things at stake than my life. Nero has lost his mind.
Conspiracy theories aren't a new phenomenon. They've been around for a very long time, as evidenced by the ones that cropped up after the death of Nero. The Roman emperor died at age 30 in 68 AD, having taken his own life after fleeing Rome. As there were only a handful of witnesses to his alleged death, many people suspected that he had faked it and would one day return to Rome to violently reclaim his throne. Prophecies and omens were interpreted as signs of his imminent return, and multiple imposters claimed to be Nero throughout the years. Some even believed that he was dead, but that through divine intervention, he would return from the grave and reclaim power as a vengeful spirit.
Obviously, the Christians hated Nero. He was the Antichrist.
Number 8. The sinking of the Titanic.
The ship will sink.
Certain?
Yes. In an hour or so. All this will be at the bottom of the Atlantic.
On the morning of April 15, 1912, the Titanic went under the Atlantic, taking roughly 1,500 people with her. We know that the ship hit an iceberg, but as she was deemed unsinkable, her tragic demise has birthed many conspiracy theories.
But this ship can't sink. She's made of iron, sir. I assure you, she can. And she will.
One of the most famous is that American financier J.P. Morgan orchestrated the sinking to kill off some business rivals who were traveling on the ship. This theory is entirely baseless, not to mention extremely libelous. Another popular theory posits that the White Star Line swapped the brand new Titanic with her damaged sister ship Olympic in an elaborate insurance scam. And of course, there are the wacky ones, like a cursed mummy being secretly stowed on board and taking the ship down.
Read from the book!
Number 7. Hitler's death.
Nun ist es soweit. Es ist zu Ende.
Adolf Hitler took his own life on April 30th, 1945, upon the imminent defeat of Nazi Germany. But his body was burned, and an official death certificate wasn't issued for another decade. And without a body or official proof that he was dead, many people believed that Hitler was still out there.
Yes. And one of these guys was Adolf Hitler. He was right there. He wasn't wearing mustache or anything.
The most famous conspiracy theory posits that Hitler and Eva Braun faked their deaths and fled to Argentina to live under assumed identities. Some even take this theory one step further, claiming that he fled to Antarctica and lived in a secret Nazi base. And some even believe that the Allies had secretly captured Hitler and were using him for intelligence purposes as part of Operation Paperclip.
Nazi scientists, some of them tied to war crimes including horrific concentration camp experiments, brought to the U.S. in a secret program to advance American security interests during the Cold War. It sounds like the plot of a film drama, but it actually happened, and on a large scale.
Number 6. The death of Princess Diana.
Confirmation from our very own Foreign Secretary, Robin Cook, who's in the Far East at the moment, that Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
One of the most enduring conspiracy theories of our time concerns the death of Princess Diana. The world was left stunned on August 31st, 1997, when a car carrying Diana crashed inside Paris's Pont de l'Alma tunnel. The princess died following a brief struggle with some horrific injuries. A slew of conspiracy theories were born from the event, the most famous of which is that the royal family had her killed and that MI6 had secretly orchestrated the crash.
There's no doubt that Princess Diana's death was an accident. Are you absolutely... There were never any sort of nagging feelings for you after this all concluded? There's nothing you look back on and think, that was an avenue that was still open to us?
No, I'm absolutely convinced. Totally.
This theory has endured in popular culture for decades, and it has resulted in a significant stain on the public reputation of the royal family. However, numerous reports and investigations have discredited the theory, putting most of the blame on the intoxicated driver, Henri Paul.
They said that his alcohol reading was 3 times normal amount. He lost control of the car, and it's possible that he was mixing alcohol with prescription medicines for depression and driving way too fast to try and outrace the paparazzi.
Number 5. Building the pyramids.
How did Egyptians build the pyramids? Did they start at the top and work down, or start at the bottom and work up?
For some reason, we just can't accept that ancient civilizations were smart. We can't seem to fathom that the Egyptians built the magnificent pyramids, so we've resorted to ridiculous conspiracy theories in an attempt to explain how they came to be. Many supernatural explanations have been put forth, arguing that the pyramids were constructed by divine beings, or at least constructed with the help of divine intervention. Gods, aliens, it doesn't really matter. Point is, the Egyptians had help, and that help was not of this world.
The Great Pyramid was built at the level of technological sophistication far in excess of anything that we have today.
Similarly, many people think that the pyramids were built using insane technology that has conveniently been lost to time, like advanced cutting tools and even some type of anti-gravity device. How else did they get those stones up there?
Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. And I think that's the basic idea of what we're looking at here.
Number 4. 9/11.
What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11.
September 11th is a topic of endless interest, as it can be studied from a number of different angles and perspectives. But there is one angle that some people are adamant about: the idea that 9/11 is a massive cover-up. The most famous and widely circulated conspiracy theory claims that the attack was an inside job, and that the towers were brought down by controlled demolitions rather than the planes and resulting fires.
It's a different kind of detonation. They would not leave detonator cords and devices as they do in traditional, more economical detonations. This is a very different kind of operation.
But that's certainly not all. From insurance fraud to occult symbolism to secret energy weapons, 9/11 seemingly covers all the conspiracy bases. In fact, there's an entire quote-unquote truth movement out there, consisting of staunch adherents to the general theory that 9/11 was not a terrorist attack.
There's a lot of circumstantial claims, a lot of innuendo, a lot of whack-a-mole, which you explain one thing away and they mention something else, and it never ends.
Number 3. The JFK assassination.
We're stuck with, the government offering the people an implausible explanation. JFK endures as a symbol of people's lack of faith in government.
Conflicting evidence, significant secrecy, and various inconsistencies have all contributed to the perception that the JFK assassination is hiding a much deeper story. Of course, everyone knows all the major theories, like the idea of multiple gunmen, or that the CIA orchestrated the assassination. But there are crazier theories. Was Kennedy killed by the Illuminati for challenging their control over global affairs? Did the Mafia secretly order a hit on the president in retaliation for Robert F. Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime?
And since when has the mob used anything but 38s for hits up close? Mob wouldn't have the guts or the power for something of this magnitude.
Did Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson have Kennedy murdered so he could take power? Ask the conspiracy theorists, and the answer is a resounding yes.
The how and the who is just scenery for the public. Oswald, Ruby, Cuba, the Mafia. Keeps them guessing like some kind of parlor game, prevents them from asking the most important question, why? Why was Kennedy killed? Who benefited? Who has the power to cover it up?
Number 2, the Roswell crash.
Was this a government cover-up? In the 1990s, officials said it was actually a nuclear test surveillance balloon, not a weather balloon. But some still think that's a lie too, and hope
maybe someday
the truth will come out.
In the summer of 1947, a top-secret balloon designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. The U.S. military initially reported that a flying disc had been recovered. However, this was quickly retracted, and the military stated that the debris was from a weather balloon.
Still, Mac Brazel said that he'd picked up bits of weather balloons before, and that's not what he found this time, but he was tired of all the fuss, and he let it rest.
It's likely that the American government did not want to reveal the existence of their classified technology, hence the story that convinced absolutely no one. And owing to the intense secrecy surrounding the crash, combined with the curious change in story, caused the general public to believe in a cover-up. The result was the UFO phenomenon of the 1940s and 50s, a phenomenon that has endured in the news and pop culture ever since.
I think as Giorgio is holding this, he's holding something made by another intelligence from someplace we don't understand, and this is truly extraterrestrial.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. The moon landing.
Then I did an advert with Patrick Moore, and I said, "So, Patrick, did they land on the moon?" And he looked so annoyed with me.
Yeah.
Actually, he explained to me how he had helped map the moon for NASA, and he'd spent years on the project, and the landing site was partly his idea, and if I ever spoke to him again, he was going to be sick in my eyes.
Humanity accomplished what is arguably the greatest technological achievement on July 20th, 1969, when Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. It was such a monumental accomplishment that it is literally unbelievable to some. Enter the countless moon landing conspiracy theories, which all amount to the general idea that we never landed on the celestial sphere. These theories have been around for decades, with many positing that the footage was filmed on a studio set and was maybe even directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Well, and they say that he directed the fake movie about the fake moon landing.
Well, that's the big conspiracy theory.
Countless pieces of evidence prove that we did, in fact, land on the moon. But these do not stop the ardent supporters of the crazy theory, which, according to some polls, may account for up to 20% of the American population.
Wow, Neil Armstrong! Hey, wait a minute. You're supposed to be on the moon. I just saw it on TV.
Oh, there's a tape delay and with all solar winds.
Do you believe in any of these theories? Let us know in the comments below.
But what do these conspiracy theorists know that we don't?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.